Ciao ciao, week 4. We are almost a month in and I cannot believe I've been here for that long. This week doesn't get super exciting until Thursday when we take our field trip, but enjoy this cat. On the way to my afternoon class, I stumbled upon all of the high school kids, is what it seemed like, out for their lunch break, so I did get to blend in with them. For dinner this night, I cooked myself a burger and had some salad. I am definitely missing the American burgers because this just doesn't do it. And just like that, we're already on to Tuesday. I went out to breakfast, my normal coffee and croissant. I was super excited when I put this outfit together. I think I just really liked the muted vibes, honestly. And now we are in studio. Lots of cheese on my mind, clearly. No, this is actually for my project. Context is a little hard to explain, but I swear there's a reason for it. That night I got a little chilly, so I put on some sweats and this exciting shirt. Thought it was funny, nothing went together. And I had myself a chicken sandwich and finished watching season 2 of Wednesday. The fit check is literally the only thing I have from Wednesday, so it's kind of embarrassing. We are now on our way to Turin and Milan for the weekend. We will be in Turin for Thursday and Friday and then leave Friday night to head to Milan and then be there for Saturday and Sunday. Our first stop in Turin was at this old Fiat factory, which was super cool. We got to check out the place. The roof is like an actual racetrack so that they could actually test the cars out before they put them out. So don't get me wrong, I love me an infinity pool, but I'm not so sure I agreed with the bottom part of this one being clear. A little invasive if you ask me. We have officially left the Fiat factory and we are now at the OGR in Torino. It used to be a railway repair facility, but it is now a center for contemporary art, innovation, concerts, events. We do not get to go in quite yet, but check out this crazy looking church. Now this space was super cool. It was massive. So basically it used to be an old factory and it's now kind of just turned into a big open space. There's a whole bunch of like people skating down there. There was a skate park kind of built into it. There was also like a concert kind of thing going on at the same time. Some DJ type situation. Now we get to go in the church and I was super excited because I genuinely could not figure out how this thing was gonna look like on the inside, and I will say it did not look how I thought it was going to. We finally arrived at our hotel in Turin, and the view outside was to die for. We actually had like a kind of balcony situation, so we got to step outside and see this like massive church just right down the street from us. We had a group dinner where we got an appetizer, a main meal, and a dessert. So our appetizer was kind of just like a platter of a bunch of different things. I'm going to try to list off and remember what all there was. Here we had like I think it was like Russian salad of some sort. This one was actually really good. It was probably one of my favorites on the plate. This was actually just like an omelet. I don't know if there's an actual name for it, but it was just egg. So I mean, it was good. This one was a little weird. It was actually like a roasted bell pepper with some sort of sauce on top, but the sauce was like kind of fishy, sort of, but it also tasted kind of like a soy sauce. It was like if you took a sushi roll and like grinded it up into a liquid. Yes, this is exactly what you think it is. Raw meat. It really had no flavor. I mean, 1 out of 10. I didn't. Ugh. Here we have the scariest thing on the plate, anchovies and some green stuff. I actually am super scared to admit I did eat all of the anchovies. It actually wasn't that bad. It was just really salty. I'm not sure I'd order it again, but I did finish it. This was some sort of meat, I don't know what meat, with like a tuna sauce on it. So I did like that. I'm a fan of tuna. So I did not know what this was at the time, but a few days later back in class, it turns out it was tongue. Whose tongue? I don't know whose tongue it was. I'm glad I did not know at the time because I don't think I could have brought myself to eat a tongue. Here we just have some salami, and this was good, something familiar and comforting after this tray of new foods. This was just some cheese with some sort of jelly on top, and it was good. I actually spread it onto a piece of bread, and it was really good that way. This guy in the middle, I wish I had an answer for you. I never got one myself. It kind of tasted like a bunch of, like if you took a bunch of legumes and mashed them all together. I really don't have a better way to explain it, but it was kind of like a pudding-ish texture. It was a little weird. It was hard to get down because the texture did not belong with the taste. Before moving on, I do want to say I cannot control the buzzing going on. That is my laptop charger. I know, I hear it too. It is also driving me crazy. This is the aftermath of my appetizer. I'm actually very happy with what I finished. I think I put down a lot of it. I clearly got too excited because I did not take a picture of the main dish, but it was some sort of ravioli filled with meat. I believe it was like pork, and there was like a sauce, but it wasn't too saucy. It was some sort of like white Parmesan-ish sauce, but it wasn't, not Alfredo. I don't really know how to explain it. This sound is actually now my laptop trying not to overheat, so I do try to cut this part out of my videos, but sometimes it's just gotta happen. Anyway, for dessert, we had this little chocolate cake caramel thingy. It was good. It was a little too chocolatey for me. Now we are on Friday, day 2 in Turin. I was actually super excited for this outfit. It didn't deliver the way that I was hoping it would. This is the view from outside of our hotel room. I'm not sure what that building was, but it looked like some sort of basilica to me. This morning we were let loose to go do whatever we want in the main center of the city. So our first stop was to hit the Egyptian Museum. I got to see so many cool things in this museum. I mean, artifacts from literally thousands of years ago. My brain just can't comprehend how those things stay together for so long. I also got to see a ton of mummies, which is just another thing that I cannot process. How can you possibly preserve something like that for so long? However, I don't have any of the mummies in this video because I wasn't sure about YouTube's policies on that, because technically it is a deceased human being. so I did not want to take my chances, but I do have lots of cool pictures that I could not put on here, so if you'd like to see them, shoot me a text. Had to learn my name in hieroglyphics. I don't have a whole lot to say about these things. They're really just really cool to look at. For lunch, Jackson and I went to a little cafe and had some pasta. This was super good. It wasn't very much, but it actually filled. The pieces of pasta were really big. And then for dessert, we wanted to get what we had been told by our professor to get, called a beakerine, something like that. But she actually told us that we could not have one because it's out of season and that nowhere around would have one, but instead she offered us this like espresso, and it had Nutella in it, and this was one of the best things I've had here, I think. Our second museum of the day was the Cinema Museum, and this one I honestly wasn't expecting much. I didn't know what you could really do with the Cinema Museum, but it turned out to be pretty cool. In the main part of the museum, there was this big central room. It kind of acted like this little theater, and there were it looked like galleries and stuff all the way up, but unfortunately I don't think they were available. We couldn't go up, but we did get to walk around the bottom and the second floor, and they had some pretty cool little movie theater looking rooms where a movie was playing, and all of them were themed, so that was fun to walk through. It goes away. We took an elevator up through the building to go to the roof. We always have to take an opportunity to look down at the city because, the view is just breathtaking every time. If I'm being honest, the elevator ride up and down are probably my favorite parts, just because I love the thrill. Kind of like a little mini roller coaster in a way, but we also got to see all the other galleries that were up above that we actually didn't have access to. Despite our waitress having told us that she was pretty sure they were out of season, we did actually find a beakerine shop on our way back to the bus. So of course we did stop in and have one of those. Basically it's like espresso with chocolate and a cream. It's like a whipped cream, but it's not like the super sweet whipped cream you expect at home. It's very much like It's kind of like if you just took heavy cream and whipped it up. It was very good. It was essentially like a hot chocolate with some espresso in it, basically. We are now on our way to Milan, and we can see the Alps off in the distance. My usual pizza and a sangria for dinner. The hotel that we stayed at also doubles as like college dorms, so we got to hang out outside with all of the college students who were probably celebrating the upcoming weekend. For breakfast, I had a croissant, a lemon cake, of course I couldn't turn that down, an apple, and then some pear juice. We are now on a Saturday, and we have a tour from 9 to 1 of the city. So our first stop was actually up these escalators into like a square area. It was kind of like an outdoor shopping mall. There was a big fountain in the middle. It was super cool. Of course, some skyscrapers, gotta have those. Let's move on. Our next stop was Vertical Forest, and I was so excited to see this building. So this has been a building I've been looking at for my projects since like the beginning. It was unfortunate because it was actually debated during this tour about whether or not this really was architecture, because it really relies on the trees for the whole thing, not really the building or the architecture of the building itself. So that kind of broke my heart a little bit, but I still love her. We have now made it to yet another like square area with some malls. There was some sort of event going on during this, so it was very loud in there. These upcoming pictures are mostly just cool pictures I took, or of areas that I liked. In Italy, there was never a moment without live music. For lunch, we went into a mall and got to kind of go to basically the food court type area and pick whatever we wanted. Jackson and I got, it was Asian, I don't remember specifically. It was called like Wagamama, something of the sorts, but it was good. I laughed incredibly hard at this dog. I mean, why is he sitting like that? He just stayed like that too. Of course, we had our free time, and obviously we went to the Duomo of Milan. This place looked like a literal palace. It seems every Duomo I visit just gets greater and greater. The inside was literally massive. I mean, I cannot even exaggerate how massive it was. I couldn't use my camera and get the floor and the ceiling in one shot without like using 0.5. There was so much stained glass in this place, I just couldn't get enough. One more exterior picture because what? Shut up. She is so majestic. For dinner, we met up with some friends in Milan and searched everywhere for a burger, and it took a while. We had many mishaps along the way, but we did get one, and it was at this place called Sweet Burger. It was kind of just like a fast food place in Milan, so that was good. We took a streetcar to get back to our hotel, and it made this noise like the whole time. I just thought it was funny. What was not pictured yet was the amount of stuff Jackson bought in Milan. He had a list of places he wanted to hit, of stores that we don't have at home. But he did end up buying me a bracelet for my birthday. And so here we are with our cute matching Vivienne Westwood bracelets. It's now Sunday, our last day of the trip, and we actually only have a few hours before we have to get on the bus. Oh, sorry, that is my window. Ignore that. Anyway, so we only have a few hours before we have to get on the bus and drive back to Orvieto. But in that few hours, we chose to go explore this old castle, and I have not looked too much into the history of it yet, but there were a lot of artifacts going back to like several hundred years ago, up until like the 2000s, so I'm not really sure what that means or when this place was actually turned into a museum, but it was really, really cool. This is one of those places that absolutely filled my camera roll, and I don't even know what these things were. I just thought they were so cool. It's one of those places. You just take pictures of everything you see. Can't help yourself. I was absolutely loving the style of like their dishes and the tables. I mean, I would kill to have something like this in my house as like a statement piece. And here we go, back to my obsession with organs for some reason. Alright, and here's the real reason we're here. The Michelangelo sculpture. Got a warm welcome back home. I'm not sure what was going on here, but it was fun to watch. I made dinner for Jackson and I, and it was a ravioli with cacio e pepe filling, and I made a sauce that had whipping cream, parmesan, and pesto. And then I heated up these mozzarella balls. I'm missing my mozzarella sticks, that's for sure. So I'll get the closest I can and add those on the side. That pretty much wraps up week 4. I'm having so much fun, and I will see you guys next week in Siena.